one.
What?
The blue one. Yeah, right there, perfect.
What do you think is the percentage of people in the park that actually were displaced in Echo Park versus came from other areas?
I think the bulk is coming from other areas. There's only a handful here that actually lived in Echo Park and lost their homes, and I know a few of them. But I would say that 80% are from outsiders.
Wow.
That's about. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's at least 200 here that I'm thinking at least 200.
Do you want to speak on camera about this?
Yeah. So what would you like to know?
Tell me your experience you stay at Echo Park Lake?
Yeah, I've been here since I put my tent up August 11th. Do you want to walk with me since we're actually moving my tent? I need to tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yesterday I was attacked by the woman who claims to run the kitchen, Anna.
Okay.
Maria. Yeah, she physically attacked me. This is the third physical attack I've been through
Oh my
since
God.
August 11th. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I'm saving money for us to get a house, but long term, I'm thinking that this is the new Venice Canals. I actually think that we have a potential to build within the tents a kind of abode that is livable, that's sustainable, that we don't have to rely on the city to give us the permission to do. And then little by little, we could basically become kind of our own autonomous situation. But there's so many issues right now.
She's too close to my tent.
Sorry about that. Go ahead. Is everything okay over here?
My side. Why are you in my side?
Why are you mad?
I'm not mad, I'm just asking.
Because they beat me up.
Well, I really do not give a fuck. Maybe because you have a big mouth.
I don't actually.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I keep to myself.
Yes, you do. I'm gonna kick all your shit out of here.
You're literally talking and saying that in front of a camera.
I really don't give a fuck.
What do you want from me? What do you want from
I
me?
don't want you on my side.
I'm gonna be right there.
Well, don't be near my tent.
Okay, that's fine.
Please.
I promise.
That's all I'm asking, please.
I promise. I promise.
And don't be trying to fuck my man too, bitch.
I never will.
I'll shoot you in the head. And record that shit. I will shoot you.
Beat you up?
Yeah, you got blood on your teeth. Let me see.
For LA's homeless, life on the streets can be menacing. Fights are common.
You don't know.
And disagreements escalate.
This is where I choose to live. This is where I choose to live.
About the fact that legally you're not supposed to be living in a
I
park.
don't give a about legal.
Yeah, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Even with this gunshot wound on my leg. Even with the gunshot wound on my leg. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom should I fear?
What made us decide to buy where we bought was we found the park, and once we found the park, we fell in love with the park, the lake, because of our children, because we thought it was a great place to go. We got so much enjoyment out of it, and then it just came to a stop.
Walking around the lake, the perimeter, it got to the point that there were so many tents, there was no place to avoid just having a free space without being concerned for our family.
We would go daily, and then we slowed the amount of time down that we would go. One of the reasons we did that was because one time when we were walking through the park, we went by part of the encampment where one of the men was throwing a pocket knife with, I would say maybe a 3-inch blade. He was throwing it at the ground, and as we walked by, he threw it closer and closer to the edge of the sidewalk while he was looking at us, and it felt very threatening. And so I had vowed that I wasn't going to go back at all. felt it was, we just came to the conclusion that there's so many tents now, and they're also pushing over to the other side of the lake, which was very disappointing to see.
Is it gonna?
I think it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
I definitely do. They were getting, I don't know, maybe 2, maybe 3 every day coming in new.
Wow.
This
Really?
whole side over here, they're gonna be on this side in a matter of a month or 2.
So it's basically like the lake is not part of our lives anymore. It's more like a memory with the dream and the hope that at some point it's restored where it's open to everyone to enjoy during the regular hours and not to become a spot where you just want to drive by it and look at it.
Apartments are now under construction in the North Valley. 49 apartments for the homeless, built at a whopping $739,000 a unit. That's way more than it costs to build some luxury condos in the LA area.
That is completely unacceptable, and there are many ways in which you can build faster and cheaper.
LA City Controller Ron Galpern is about to release this audit looking at the $1.2 billion of Prop HHH money that voters overwhelmingly approved in 2016. That money was meant to develop up to 10,000 units of housing for LA's homeless. But 4 years later, only 228 units have been built, like this apartment complex near the 101 freeway.
During quarantine of walking around Echo Park Lake every day, and this particular day, I think it was a Sunday, and I was at home, and I get the next door notifications. Sometimes I look at them, sometimes I don't, but this time it was like, man abusing the ducks at the lake, and I'm a huge animal lover, so like, of course I opened it immediately, and it was sort of this account of this woman, Genesis, I believe. She had been there within like the last hour and seen a homeless man. She kind of recounted it and just said, oh, you know, he was there and he took the 2 baby ducklings and shoved them in his bag, and it
was like the saddest thing ever. I remember I turned my back for like a second, and my friend, like, she gasped, and I was like, what? And I turned around and he grabbed the duck and he just shoved it in his like duffel bag. And I was just like in utter shock, and I was like just speechless because I had never in my life seen someone do that. And I remember just like having this feeling of so much anger, and I was like, and I don't know where it came from, I just yelled, and I was like, hey, what are you doing? And he just looked at me, he's like, it's my duck. And I'm like, are you crazy? Like, that's not your property, like, you have to put it back. And he was like, no, you can't tell me what to do. And he started like getting closer to me, and then the other gentleman that was there, he was like, no, you have to put it back. And then his dog started barking at the homeless person, and then the homeless person almost kicked the dog. And it was just like this whole thing, people were watching, and I just couldn't believe. And we were just like, we were at a loss of what to do. We didn't want to like physically go up to him. We just didn't want any confrontation, but it didn't feel right for me to like let him take the duck. We managed to get the other duckling that was like circling around the homeless man to go into the pond, but it was a really sad day because the one that he didn't manage to get was kind of like screaming for the other baby duck, and the baby duck that was in his duffel bag was like I think screaming as well and crying, but you could hear it, and it was so muffled. And my friend started crying immediately, and I was like, let's go.
And I pass a guy I think is him, and I kind of tell my friend on the phone, and then I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna go right up to him, and I just go up to him, and because they had said they'd try to get it back, so my gut instinct was to pay him money, which also I was like conflicted about doing because I didn't want to encourage this happening again, like him thinking he'll get money, but I just wanted to get this duckling back, so I went up to the guy who I thought that it was, and I was right. It was the first guy that I thought it was, even though there were a lot of people there. And I gave him like $7, I just said, hey, do you have a duck in your bag? And I'm still on the phone with my best friend, and he's like, yeah, and he just kind of gets it out and gives it to me, and I give him $7, and I have this like poor little duckling. I have photos of it. And I just like have it in the palm of my hand, and my thought is, oh, I'll take it and I'll bring it back to its family, like wherever they are in this lake. But the lake is huge, you know, so I was like, how am I gonna find? But so I like walk around the whole lake. Finally, I find kind of where the ducks all are, and I go to put him back into the water, and that's when I realized that like something's definitely off. He was like really wobbly. He like couldn't like stand up straight. Like his neck was falling over. Like crying because it was like so sad because I knew like something was off. And that's when I called my boyfriend, and I'm like, I have this baby. I found the duck, and he's like, he couldn't believe that I'd gotten the duck back from the guy, but also I think he could believe it because I'm pretty determined, especially about animals. So I like reach out to a few of my rescue friends, and they refer me to Conejo Animal Hospital. We like get it in a towel. We drive like an hour to this wildlife rescue, but they had to like put it down because like I'm sorry. It was just really, really sad. They had to put it down because the neurological damage was like too much. It wouldn't have been able to like eat or anything.
And then I get the text like, sadly, the duck is dead. And I was like, what? And I remember like just sitting in my room like so devastated. I was like, there was so much I could have done. Like I should have just like grabbed the bag or something. And I remember I called my friend to let her know, and she just immediately started crying like, are you joking? And I was like, no, like I wouldn't joke about something like that. And it was just like a moment that I think we both experienced that it's just like engraved in our head. And after that moment, I haven't really gone back to the lake. It's just, I did not feel, I wouldn't say like I didn't feel like I belonged there, but I didn't feel welcomed. And it's like a weird feeling to not feel welcomed or like feel like you're a foreign body in an area or space that you've literally grown up in your whole life. And that's kind of how I feel like every day in this neighborhood now, like seeing all the homeless people, seeing how they interact with people. It's like really sad and just like kind of confusing to me because this area has been really all I've known. And then for it to kind of start changing with just like all the homeless people who have been lining up under the freeway, like around my neighborhood, and just like seeing everything daily, it's like really sad. But after that duck incident at the lake, I haven't really gone back. It's kind of been just like a thing between me and my friend, like we just kind of don't really want to. I think it kind of tarnished my view of the lake and how I see people at the lake. And I feel like the less I go there, the less I see things, and it's like better for me, I guess, mentally. Like I don't think I would be able to handle like seeing something worse. And I mean, I've heard plenty worse that's gone on there, but I kind of like, oh well, I didn't see it, so it's off my mind.
You know, I actually came here the first day I met him. I was in he just saw me. It was Gramps that actually pulled me aside because I come to this park. I've been coming here for 11 years. So I'm an LA native. You know, I started seeing the encampment, and I started thinking to myself, you know, if somebody else can live here for free and I'm struggling financially at the current moment, then I should be able to do what I want to do. And I have camping equipment. I've been having camping equipment since COVID hit. I've already been thinking of ways to kind of dismantle myself from the curb system that we live in. This is like an almost daily occurrence for me, but I'm not usually 100% here. Sometimes I stay with my family. Sometimes, you know, I get a hotel or whatever when I have money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So tonight I'm going with my family, but I'm also not moving my tent. I'm not going to let anyone touch my shit, and they need to stop. You know what I mean? The violence needs to stop. And this is not normal. Like, this is a microcosm of the world and the violence that we're all experiencing due to racism and capitalism.
It was a packed house at an Echo Park Lake homelessness forum last night. Tensions have been rising in that area lately due to the growing number of homeless people moving into the park. The Echo Park Neighborhood Council sponsored the forum, and it's trying to open a dialogue between local residents and advocates for the homelessness problem they're now living.
I think people listen to each other. That's the most thing. I mean, reality is, I don't think we're going to change anybody's opinions, or anybody's opinions that's set in stone. But at least we can be neighborly and talk.
We're concerned about the situation in the park and the whole city. These are our neighbors that are unhoused, and we care about them, and we want to do something to make a difference.